Hello everyone, how are you? So Serralles in the Scottish accent, Serralles. How's everybody doing? You all well? Fantastic. So I'm sure you recognise me from the last couple of years of Rumfest and Don Q as well. Finally, I'm close. There we are. I'm not used to it. It's that for me sounds too loud. So, all right. So Don Q, we're finally available in the UK. Finally launched in London under the guys from Spirit Cartel distributors, which also have Four Roses Bourbon and Monkey 47 Gin and some fantastic other products as well. So we're right at the back here over here. So we're 150 years this year, Don Q. Fantastic feat. 150 years of producing rum with Serralles, the family. We started 1865 with the family making rum. Up until about 1994 producing sugar. Roberto's going to go right into that. And up to today, still making rum. A huge distillery. Come on, get a seat. I mean, look, what's going on? Is this you? Come, let's sort it out. Let's sort this out for you. So yes, one of the main things about Don Q and Distillery de Serralles is our sustainability, our green bio fundamental way of basically distilling and capturing everything post-distillation, putting it back into the distillery and helping out our environment. We really care about the environment of our island, the people, and looking after the locals on the island. So we have, basically what we're going to taste today is the Añejo and the Gran Añejo. We're not going to taste the Cristal or the Gold because of time. If you do want to taste it, you can taste it with us over on the stand, just at the back here. And we have two fantastic guys today from La Factoria, which is the #1 cocktail bar in Puerto Rico, who are joining us in our stand all the way from San Juan just for this weekend to make some fantastic cocktails for you guys. Recently they were voted 45th in the best 50 bars in the world. Which is an amazing feat. 3 years they've been open, these guys in San Juan, and they're just blown up. They're so creative, really amazing guys. Please feel free to go and have a chat with them and talk about Puerto Rico and what they're doing over there with Don Q. So what I'll do now is introduce you to the man himself, my boss, Mr. Roberto Serralles. Let's give a round of applause for Roberto.
Thank you. Well, anyway, it's really nice to be here. I know that there's a lot of competing noises and sounds. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Good. So long as I have your attention, that's all that matters. Because you're here because you're interested in learning a little bit about Puerto Rican rums. And I am Roberto Serralles. I am a 6th generation rum maker from Puerto Rico. We've been making rum in the same place since 1865, which it's pretty remarkable when you think about it. Same family business. We're still family owned and operated. And all we do is rum. We're not a whiskey company that has a rum brand. We're not a vodka guy that does rum. We're just do rum. And that's all we do. So we've learned a couple things in those 150 years how to make rum. But to put our rum in the general context of regular rums is we are what we call the Latin Caribbean style of rums, right? You have the Anglo-Caribbean, which is Jamaica, Barbados, ex-English colonies, and they do a lot of pot stills, things of that nature, heavier rums, longer fermentations perhaps. We do very light rums because our rums were originally made for cocktails. Puerto Rico is about cocktail culture. So we made really light rums. So all our rums are 5-column distilled. We do make some rums that are single column distilled, and then we age them. That's the big differentiating factor. Every single rum under the Don Q flag is aged. A minimum of 1 year in a barrel. And we use American white oak barrels, ex-bourbon barrels. Everything is aged. So we make clean distillate, we age everything, and then we blend. So we're really like agers and blenders in the same way that the Scotch whiskey folks are agers and blenders, and that's the kind of quality of product that we want to put out there because we feel like our products are great to sit by themselves, but are fantastic in cocktails. So if there's any questions along the way, just raise your hand, and I don't want to do this like a monologue. If you have any questions, conversations, any questions you have about Puerto Rican rum in general. Quick question, so where does Don Q come from? Well, Don Quixote de la Mancha is the #1 novel in Spanish culture, and so we named our brand after the masterpiece of Spanish literature. Now we're going to pass around. Let me introduce you to our products. This is our Don Q Cristal. This is a white rum, and you might be wondering, wait a minute, you said everything was aged. How come this is clear? Well, because we actually charcoal filter the color out. This is a blend of 1 to 5-year-old rums, mostly 5-column distilled rum. It does have a little bit of single-column aged rum as part of the blend, but it's a very light rum, great in daiquiris, great in mojitos. It's the #1 rum sold in Puerto Rico. Who's been to Puerto Rico here? All right, so you've heard of this before, right? See, I'm not making this up, right? So if you go next time you go to Puerto Rico, and you should go, it's a really beautiful place. you go to a bar and you ask for Don Q, they're like, "Wait, you know something? You're not a tourist. You actually have the in." And this is like a national product. It outsells our friends from over there at a premium price. We sell more boxes than they do, which is they don't like that because they also make the rum there. But anyway, that's a difference. So we're good friends too. So anyway, this is Cristal. We're not going to taste this because it's just a white rum, great for cocktails. We also have, this is our Don Q Gold. Don Q Gold is a blend. It has more like 3 to 5 year old rums. That's the color, that comes from the wood, essentially, 3 to 5. The first pina colada, and this is a good, impress your friends at a cocktail party. The first pina colada ever made in the world was made with Don Q Gold at the Beachcombers Bar in the Caribe Hilton in San Juan, Puerto Rico. You can actually ask Ian Burrell. He made a paternity test to the pina colada, and he determined through his research that, in fact, it was made with Don Q Gold. So that is another thing. We won't try this, but it's great on cocktails, the more traditional cocktails. We will pass on, though.
The añejo.
Añejo, fantastic. Let's pass that around so you taste it.
Roberto, is that a new bottle as well, is it?
I'm sorry?
Is that a new bottle you have as well?
Yes, new presentation, new package.
Different from last year?
Yes. This is a new package. Kind of, it's a good story because, anyway, so what you're trying, I'll tell you about the label in a second, but
okay.
You don't have any. You will get some soon. It's coming around. Of course, by the time it gets here, nobody else will have any over here.
It's okay, guys.
Too. But anyway, what we're passing around is our añejo. Our añejo really just means aged, right? And this is a blend of 3 to 8 year old rums. Now, let me tell you about aging in the tropics because this is very important. You ask yourselves, why don't you guys put any age claims on your rums? A lot of people out there have 10-year-old or 12-year-old or whatever. Well, we are, since 1898, we are part of the United States. And like in Scotland, you can only claim age the youngest element of your blend, okay? You can't claim age for an average, for example, like some other origins, where you can basically have 1-year-old rum, put a drop of 20, and you call it a 10-year-old. That we can't do that. That's against the rules, that's against the law in Puerto Rico. So that's why we just don't claim age because, this is a blend of 3 to 8. And you're like, it's not that sexy, 3 years, who wants to? But it's 3 to 8 years in the tropics is remarkable. Let me tell you about aging losses in the tropics. We lose about 10% a year, okay? That's our angel share, 10%. Now think about this. You put 50 gallons of rum into a barrel, and after a year, there's only 45 gallons left. And then the next year, that's the same thing happens. And so on and so forth. So our losses are really high, and therefore we feel like our rums aging in the tropics have an accelerated aging.
Yeah.
I kind of think of it as like dog years, like every, one human year is like 7 years for a dog.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like that. Rums aged in the tropics have this accelerated aging. So the aging characteristics that you'll find in a 3 to 8 year old rum could be, up to 10 years or 12 years for a rum, for a scotch, or, for a whiskey aged in Scotland, where the losses are 1 to 2%. That's why you can have a 20-year-old scotch. Yeah. There's something left in the barrel after 20 years. There's very, very little left in the barrel after 20 years if you're truly aging in the tropics. So I put that out there. 2 things. Remember, the color on the rum only comes from the wood, not from anything else. Oh no, I made it with molasses, that's why it's dark. No. That doesn't work that way. It's only from the wood. So beware of unaged rums that are dark. Okay? Figure out how that one worked. I'll let you figure that out. But anyway, that's happening out. That's just what happens. And also beware of age claims. If you're aging in the tropics for 20 years, there's not very much left.